1, 2, 3.
On the Texas A&M Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the Coach Jimbo Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better. Also brought to you in part by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Bud Light, it's for the fans. Now, welcome to the Coach Jimbo Show.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to provide a trip for 12 to the LSU game on November 27th. To register for the 12th Fan trip, visit 12thman.com/12thfan. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud corporate partner of Texas A&M Athletics. Along with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Jimbo Fisher, this is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It is presented by Capital Farm Credit, and we are at Rudy's and an outstanding crowd. Howdy, everyone. Thanks for being here.
It's like old times there.
It sure does. What are you saying? It'd be better if they couldn't hear you. It's your show.
That's what the players say sometimes. No, sometimes we get to complain too much. No,
Aggies coming off the 10-7 win at Colorado on Saturday. And Jimbo, I always ask this of you. You have an opportunity to see that tape and review what happened. Your thoughts looking back to Saturday and that win?
Well, first and foremost, I say this. You hear me say this all the time, especially quarterbacks. I do it because I think you can be the most frustrated. But as a team in general, I think you can measure people on their bad days. Everybody has great days. Everybody's imperfect. It's all great. But what are you going to do when it isn't going right? No matter what you try, it's like do you quit or do you keep persevering? And that's that one thing, that word I talk about, grit. I mean, just keep my teeth into it until I can figure it out. It may not be the perfect thing, but I got to figure something out. And that's the one thing we learned that we did have. Now, why we were in that position is another set of problems. And you have to fix those problems. You have to deal with those issues, and you got to get them fixed. But at the same time, people, when things go well all the time and everything's hunky-dory, there's eventually going to be something that's not right. And a lot of people don't know what they're going to have. We do know that, that's for sure. But at the same time, we got to realize that we can't get in those situations and do that. But when you looked at the film, offensively, very frustrating in a lot of ways. Very, as I say, you fight for inches. People think, well, an inch is here. It does matter. An inch and a half, 2 inches on a play. The difference, a guy grabbing a shirt, you missing the block with your hand. We left so many plays on the field that were plays to be made, whether it was offensive line miss a block, back miss a cut, drop a ball, didn't get open, quarterback miss a throw, miss a read. I mean, and everybody takes turns. You know what I mean? And it's the same guys all the time. And what they call out of sync. But I will say this. You understand, we stunk for first 20 minutes of that first half. Had one drive, get down, kick a field goal. Had that urgency. Come back second half for two. Then the last three drives, we go 10, 13, and 11 plays. Well, how do you do that after you go set? We had almost as many 3-and-outs we did all last year. Mm-hmm. Okay? How can you flip that? There is something in you that does that, and we were able to do that and make those plays, and then fail on the goal line, stand quitting one more time, come back and make one more drive, and did the things we had to do. But so from that standpoint, but a lot of good things. But as you look at them, and I go back and we were breaking the film down, like I tell guys all the time, what great teams do, and people really don't appreciate sometimes, is ordinary things better than anybody else. I mean, the ordinary thing, the ordinary block, the ordinary catch, and you take it for granted because it's so precise and it's so consistent, and that's what we're not doing. And when you watch those things, the things that got us in trouble were ordinary things. They weren't things that were anything spectacular that Colorado did, except they executed what they did better than what we executed what we did. And that's what it's got to get down to, and that's got to be determination. It's got to be creating fundamentals. It's got to create habits. And I thought we've had a better week, and we'll see. Defensively, I thought, in the beginning, okay, but they moved the ball, went down and scored. We had some missed assignments on that. Even the one the quarterback ran wasn't designed. He just looked up. Somebody blew an assignment, and they had an edge. He just pulled the ball and scored. Wasn't even supposed to be a pull. So then they drive down, miss a field goal, luckily. Then they drive again, and we make a stand 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. And all of a sudden, those one plays can change the momentum. We got some juice, and we started coming back on offense. And then the second half, defense said, all right, enough's enough. They give up 54 yards and 1 first down. But like I said, why can't you do that all the time? Mm-hmm. Why isn't that the mindset? You know why it was a mindset? Because it had to be the mindset. And that's what you got to understand. You got to turn your mindset to what that way all the time. And that's what great teams do, and we're going to hopefully learn that. But I will say that I thought our special teams were good. I thought our punter was excellent in the game. He averaged 49 yards a punt, 44 yards net. We covered well. We had one kickoff return, and we missed one block that a chain could almost come through there pretty good. Missed one field goal, but we made the other one. And then the rest of the kicking game was sound. So there's a lot of improvement. But, guys, we're early. At least we come out of that way. We learn something about ourselves. But what I want to find out, can we start this way and not get in those situations and learn to grow from it?
Is that part of the 3 I's that you talk about?
I talk about immediacy. You got to come right now. Intensity. There's no lack. You can't lack any intensity. And you got to play with intelligence. If you play with those 3 things and do those 3 things, immediacy, right there, you got to. I mean, from the first snap, you can't give somebody – and I'm going to tell you, people judge so much from the beginning. You don't win games in the beginning, but I'm going to tell you what. You can create an uphill climb for yourself in that first 5 minutes of a game very quickly by the tone you set, the things you do, the way the defense sees you, the offense sees you, the other team sees you, and what intensity. That intensity's got to – and you can't let up. It's got to go from in. And listen, that's a learned behavior. Mm-hmm. It's not natural to be intense a whole game. But you got to teach yourself that. And that's hopefully what – we got some young guys that have to learn that. I mean, really do, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And then I tell you got to play with great intelligence. And we didn't do that. I mean, you go back and look at a couple – like there was a route one time. We had the guy wide open, and it looks like the ball's still behind him. He cuts the route 3 steps short. So the quarterback – instead of when he breaks, he's not ready for it, so he hurries up, and then what's the ball do? Goes late. Or we're throwing it across the middle, and we stop because we think there's a safety on time because the route was short and he got too far over. Then the other time the quarterback misses a read. It just took turns back and forth. So, but it's ordinary things, and we got to have the desire and the discipline to do things right all the time.
He's Jimbo Fisher, head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, 2-0 after beating Colorado with New Mexico up next on Saturday. We'll continue with the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. And Cooling, proud to be the official heating and cooling provider for Aggie Athletics. Earning your seal of approval since 1979, a lot has changed since then, but our pride in Aggie football and our commitment to providing great service remains as strong as ever. Gig 'em, Aggies! This is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit, and we are at Rudy's 504 Harvey Road in College Station. Along with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco, and changing of the guard for at quarterback. Yep. Haynes goes out, second series. One, an update on Haynes, and also how you thought Zach Calzada played Saturday.
Well, first on Haynes, I mean, we had some nice things going there and had a chance on the play. He actually got hurt. We could have come out of there for a big score. I thought he was going down the sideline. Just missed that block. But he is as good a break as you can have. He had. If that makes any sense. It was clean. It was not displaced. So nothing there, and it was not down in the joint. So they put the screw. And now, I don't know how we ever healed back in our day. 'Cause I broke a ton of bones, trust me, big bone. And everything they do now is a screw. I mean, they put a screw or a pin or something, and I guess it holds it together better. But they put it in. When you did it, you couldn't even see the break after. On the thing it was in there, but it's there, and it's going to take time to heal. I have no idea, and would never even jeopardize thinking about anything until he's fully healed in that regard. So, but he's doing well. He's out there on his scooter at practice, and
he's
got
all
his foot
over
propped
that.
out. Oh, he is now. He's amazing. Well, that was like the time when he got COVID, and we had practice and workouts in spring, or it was probably that or quarantine or whatever. And he pulls his truck up to the back of the practice field, stood on the bed of it, and stood away from everybody and watched the whole practice and filmed it and listened to every comment and had people standing there telling him the plays and got a script sheet. I mean, but he's there not just watching. He's there talking to Zach, seeing what he sees, he come back out on that sideline too. Instead of they asked him if he wanted to stay inside. No, I'm coming back out. I want to help. I was talking to Zach, and he was helping, give him information. And total team guy. So he's doing well as expected and in good spirits. But I thought Zach in the game, I think he struggled a little bit. I think we struggled around him at times. It wasn't all him. There were some things there that came off that they could have made some plays. And that's one thing my challenge is, he's the new guy. Receivers, tight ends, backs, you're the old guys. A couple of them linemen are young. You guys need to do things well around him to let him get comfortable. But then he kept battling. And the thing about it is to come back, and I'm going to tell you, I've played quarterback and I've had those days. To stand there and know that, man, everything's going 1,000 miles an hour. You can't see it. And when I do see it, man, I thought that was it. And to come back and have a 10-play, a 13-play, and an 11-play drive, the last 3 drives of the game to win the game, and make the throw he did to win the game, and made the scramble and the play. He was just trying a little bit too hard to get it over, and which I still thought the ball crossed, but before it come out. But that's a tough call. I ain't gonna argue that part of it. And then to lose that ball and turn around and come back again and do it. We were 1 of 10 on third down for those last 2 drives. Ended up 7 of 10, the last 10. I mean, to be able to flip that takes a special kind of guy. There's a lot of character and heart and competitiveness in there, and there's no quit. Now, does that mean we got to play better? Yes, we got to play better around him. But from that point, you grow, man. And here's one thing you can do that. You can do it. It's in reserve. It's in you if you did. And now, I thought this week he's practiced really well. And that's not me. That's not coach talk. I thought today was exceptional. We'll hope we'll continue it, and we'll call the right plays and play well around him. But we'll grow, and there's a lot of growing things in there. But there's a lot of want to, and there's a lot of ability. He can throw the football. And he can move around, too. I told you he could run a little bit.
Yes, you did. And you kept reminding all of us throughout that Haynes throws the ball better than we all thought. Oh, yep. He's just athletic. And you said Zach can move. And we saw it when he made the right decisions, didn't he?
He did. He made a scramble for a first down. He had one he was going to score at 17 yards. Then he had another big 12-yard scramble within the play. So, I mean, he was doing some good things. So we'll grow.
You used a phrase Monday for him, which I think means the world. I can. He knows he can now, just
exactly
what you
said. Right. And you got to go through that. Can I really do it? And can I do it when the chips are down, when everybody's against me? No one thinks I can do it. Everybody thinks, he did it. And that's a big chip you put on your side. Now, don't put yourself in that. Don't only use that chip about once a career will be good.
You made a comment about him when he was coming in, and you said if you have 10 players and Zach Calzada, Zach can lead those 10 and win. He probably won more games in high school than they should have because of his abilities.
Yeah, there wasn't
a
lot of other guys, and he took them to the state semifinals, I think, that year in Georgia in the highest level of ball, which is very tough, and his school had never been like that before that I know of, and wasn't expected to go that way. He got hot and took them, and he's got some ability, so hopefully we'll continue to play well.
You like that leadership, right? That he possesses.
I liked his presence in practice all week. I really did.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I really did. He had good presence, and each day it's gotten better.
This goes back to what you said, that he did not lose the competition to Haynes.
No. There's a difference that, he didn't do anything to screw it up. Mm-hmm. The other guy did some really good things to take it, and that's a difference. And then still getting in a game and doing all that, and that circumstance, and not being ready. I mean, I say you're not ready for it, you're prepared for it. But like I say, that's the thing about being a backup, man. You're one play, you're one trip, one slip, one anything from getting in there, and that's a hard thing to comprehend. And when it comes, man, to be ready, and he made the best of it at the end. Your
point Monday though was, for a lot of other backups, they usually see action.
Oh, yeah.
Quarterback, it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, backup lineman, a backup tight end, a backup, DB, backup linebacker, backup. They all get to play. The quarterback it's just the way it is. You don't do that, and it's a hard position to play.
We're going to step aside on the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Come on back with us. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. The new Brookshire Brothers across from Kyle Field was built for Aggies. There's a bar serving coffee, wine, and beer, a full-service pharmacy, and great values on groceries, and you'll love their grab-and-go meals. Only at Brookshire Brothers, so much more than a grocery store. We continue with the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit here at Rudy's with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Jimbo Fisher. Now to the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. I remember you saying last year he was dinged up early in the year, and then you can't get Antonio Johnson out of the lineup now.
No,
he's been fantastic.
He really is. He's an outstanding player. Coverage, hit, tackle. I mean, he has really, really got a great future, and loves playing ball, loves working, and just, I love him. Special teams, everything he does, he's a ball player, man.
He just solidified. I think there was one missed tackle on one drive, and that was the last missed tackle that he had. And
yeah, it was on the quarterback when he came out of the pocket. And he hit him in the leg and thought he knocked him down and missed it. The guy was a big, strong guy. Mm-hmm. The rest of him, he was dead on, man. I mean, square hits, and he likes hitting. I mean, he loves everything about ball and the contact and the physical parts of it. He was outstanding. Peavy was, too.
I was just going to go there.
Peavy, I mean, just great getting him back. He's added about 15 pounds. I mean, Peavy before was 298, 300. Now he's 315, 316, 317. Makes a difference in his length. And I thought that's when he and the rest of that front did a great job, not only sacking the quarterback, but, affecting the guy without getting out of their rush lanes, staying in the pocket. I think we batted 6, 7 balls. I can't remember exactly what it was. I mean, 2 in that last drive. Mm-hmm. That, some very critical ball using our size. And you can affect the quarterback not only by sacking, because when you go rushing upfield and you create lanes, and you're matching coverage down the field, there's a lot of room to run. And that's something we didn't do good the first game. We really cleaned that up better the second game, and then they used their length, batting balls, athleticism, and our size and made a difference.
Defensively, I know Antonio brought it up. Peavy's brought it up in the past about mirroring the throw, right?
Yes.
With that arm.
You got to read those eyes. You get there, and you got to get a feel when the trigger, that clock in your head when you're rushing. All right, if it's not too long, or if it's getting too long, all right, he's got to get rid of the ball. You start finding him. You start finding his eyes, and where's his eyes going. So you're mirroring, getting in that path, getting in that tip lane. And people don't, up to up. It's funny. I always say that because I'm coaching quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Man, that guy was wide open. He missed him. All right, now go and because you're up the top and you see where the ball's at. Go back to where the quarterback's at. When the guy's about a step from you, and the guy's about 6'6", and he's right in front of him, and got both hands right in front of him, and the quarterback's got to throw around the arm, got to throw between the arm, or get it tipped, or get it batted, and that affects games. I mean, you'll get an interception. You'll think the guy made a great interception. Was caused sometimes by penetration, hands in the lane, getting in the face of the quarterback. So many different things you do when So I always try not to be judgmental till I grade the film and see exactly what the players see. Those big, long guys that can push that pocket, get there, and they affected the quarterback a lot of different ways besides just sack. And they had the sacks, but they did a great job batting balls, affecting balls, throws, and different things that way. They did an outstanding job in the game.
It was great to have Michael Clemens back, wasn't it?
Excellent. The size, the length, and more respect, the experience and toughness, competitiveness, and the leadership. I mean, really good.
He was one of the players at halftime. He, Anias, DeMarvin Leal, they took that leadership. They spoke at halftime in Denver, didn't they?
We went back in, and I grabbed him real quick, and I said, guys, listen, we play as bad a half as we have, at least offensive. We're only down 7-3. Let's recompose, get what we got to get back, and let's go back. And they had a shot to get us. They didn't. Now that's composed. Now we still didn't do as much as we needed to do, but they did on defense. And they said, and their point was, we're not going to score. You guys get a score, and we're going to be all right. And I've been on teams where guys start pointing fingers. You ain't doing your job, offense. Come on, man. You quit. No, hey, don't matter, guys. Just figure out a way to score. If you score once, we're going to win the game. And I've been on offense. Like last year, in the Florida game, they were frustrated on defense. Remember, it was going back and forth, score. When we said, hey, just get a stop, 1 or 2 stops. We're going to keep scoring every time. They can't stop us, and we'll win the game. And that's what I loved about our team. They didn't separate right there. They actually bonded. They came together and helped each other, and we were able to pull it out.
You've talked about it. It could be, you always say every possession ends in a kick. You hope it's an extra point. But there are times, especially with Nick, with that punt, it almost flips not just the field, but some of the momentum because the defense says it's our turn.
Exactly right. And you can pin them back and do things. And you can't turn the ball over that way. And we've got good kickers and got good punters, so it can make a difference.
And you talked about the special teams. I really thought watching that game, Jimbo, that it was going to be a special team play that may break it open.
Yeah.
And then when you said that Monday, close, I have that same feeling that it's really close to busting, whether it's Anias or whether it's Devon.
And our punt returns, we had a couple. We had room. We had one for about 13. The rest were 7 or 8. We were about 1 block away from really making a game-changing punt return, and it was almost a kickoff return. Hopefully we only get 1 kickoff return per weekend. I'll settle for that every time. But other than that, but you got to change the game there, and you got skilled guys. We got to do a little bit better job at some things, but we're getting better.
Back to Jaden Peavy, I asked him flat out, why did you come back? And he wants to be more complete. He doesn't feel like he's a finished product. Plus, it's that leadership that he wants to bring.
2 things he always said. I want to become a better player. I want to be ready. Next level, I want to develop. Because I didn't get a chance to develop as much as I wanted to. And I want to be part of a championship team. And so that drug him back.
He could have transferred years ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't. That says a lot about him.
Well, that's what these kids are going to find out in time of the transfer portal. And listen, there are reasons to transfer. I'm not, in certain situations, you only got a couple years left, and it's not going where you want, and you want to stay. I get all those things. But there's some guys that if you just put your nose down and work, it's going to work out. You don't always have to run or look, because eventually, wherever you go, if you're wanting to play a high enough level of ball and competitive enough, you're going to have to put the work in. You can't run from the work. The work is going to be there, and that's what I hope kids don't do in the portal, and I hope they line up and learn to push through those things. When we come back to the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit, Coach, we've got some questions for you. That's in our next segment. Stay with us. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. We all know that queso practically flows through the veins of every Texan at Costa Vida Fresh Mexican Grill. Queso is their pro-style offense. Costa Vida is proud to partner with Texas A&M Athletics. This is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. And we're at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road in College Station. It is question time, and that means Ian Curtis is up first. Jimbo, how do you as a coach avoid getting burned out? I do. No. You keep things in perspective. And like I say, There's a natural barrier I think you hit and you push, and sometimes I've realized I'm getting older. Sometimes backing off with your film watching or whatever, and let your mind clear, and it's a hard thing. And then I try to spend as much a little time with the family or get to the ranch. If I can get to the ranch and clear my head, I'm in good shape. If I can get outside and smell some outdoors and get in my Polaris or get in a four-wheeler and get down by the river or get somewhere in the woods, I can usually clear it up. But sometimes during the season that gets hard. But it's hard. I mean, but it is what you do. And like I said, I love it so much I don't ever think of where I've worked. So.
Mm-hmm. Monday you said you're going to coach another 40 years.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do if I didn't.
Look, we came in together. I have another 40 years then.
Exactly right. I mean, you always say that. I remember when I was young, I ain't going to coach like them. Then you keep going, I'm not that old. That feels pretty good, you know what I mean? And like my mom said, when she taught till she was 80 years old, 81 years old, and still came in, well, what would I do?
Right.
I'm going to sit around here? Get old? I said, I guess not. It keeps your mind fresh, keeps you going. So
absolutely, and you surround yourself with good people to coach
exactly
with.
Exactly right. Surround yourself with good
people.
people.
You don't want yes people.
No,
correct?
I don't. I mean, I don't mind confrontation. I don't mind somebody disagreeing. I don't mind that part of it. I mean, now when we make a decision, but if you can't, you gotta throw ideas out. You gotta have opinions. You gotta have personalities to make it go.
Ian, thank you as always. Appreciate it. Okay, Wesley Lawhorn, class of '95. Ready? This is right up your alley. Social media is inundated with a lot of faceless cowards, including some Aggies, unfortunately, and many of them took to Twitter during the game this past weekend to post discouraging comments. Knowing that most players are on social media and see such posts, how do you, as the coach, encourage players amid such criticism? And second, what would you say to those Aggies who post those comments simply because things aren't going the way they'd like them to?
Well, I mean, listen, that's American right. Your freedom to say what you want when you want, and I get it. And it's their passion, their frustration, and something they love. That's something they want to do good. You know what I mean? And now it doesn't help, but that's their right. I don't worry about it. That's why I don't have social media. I don't read social media. I don't pay attention to social media. Now, I have to deal with it, and I have people check it. If there's going to be things I think that are going to affect kids, our team, and things that go on, because they all do. And I try to encourage all the time. I can't figure out why you worry about somebody who doesn't know you, what his opinion is of you, more so than what I do, your parents, your friends, or whoever else it is. But that's the world we live in, and it does affect guys, and it can tear you up. But sometimes you just got to, hopefully, as you mature, you find out your self-worth is not based on somebody else's opinion. You know, it's what's on reality and live in the world you live in. And but that's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. I'm not a big social media guy at all.
It's been a big change, has it not?
Oh, it's huge. And if you don't think it affects the mental health of people, you're so far. It has caused more mental health. That's probably, in my opinion, the number one root of a lot of the pressures and things that go on with our kids today in whatever, not just athletics. I'm talking about the world itself. I think it's social media. Because of the things we can say, you can do, and people believe it, and people don't want to hear it, and then they get into it, and they think about it, and it gets in their head, and it has a huge, huge effect. And we have to deal with those issues, bunches of them. And so hopefully they stay off, but I know they don't. That's the world they're in.
But they need to learn to control it, correct?
Oh, they do need to control it. I mean, the players?
Yes.
Oh, they have to.
Yes.
If you have to put it in perspective, and you better listen to people who really care about you and love you, and other than that, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, Preston Smith would like to know what is your favorite tradition?
I've always said muster.
Yeah.
And I think because it's so unique, it's so different, and it's so respectful and just the history and the people. And to me, that's the one that just, I mean, I love them all, but it just, like, wow. I mean, when I heard about, across the world and the day we have and what it means, and I've never seen that anywhere.
Yeah. From howdy to here, right?
Yep.
It's amazing.
It really is.
You're always remembered. That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
At Texas A&M.
And that's isn't that what everybody always wants?
That's exactly
you
what
want to be appreciated, you want to be remembered.
Yeah.
That's why a pat on the back, even sometimes a kick in the butt is they know you're there. Is really what people want in the end of the day.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They want appreciation and respect.
Especially the ones who want to get better, right? And
they
you
do
identify that, right?
They do.
We've joked about this. I shouldn't say joke.
Well,
We've talked about this. You've got to be part psychiatrist, psychologist.
Well, no, it was funny today. Well, I say, we have a cone that's 15 yards behind the ball, and kids naturally move up in front of it, and I'm always pushing them back so guys don't get stepped on, you get hurt, get cause piles. And every now and then I'll look back, and sometimes guys will look, and they won't, they're kind of, it's just nature. They don't realize where they're at. I look back at the day, and Kenyon happened to be in front of it. Kenyon saw, now he looked back, and he looked down, he saw that thing, he jumped behind it. were 2 or 3 other kids there who just kind of, I don't know if they realized, it wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but they just kind of, and I made a point. I said, it's funny. I look back there, and the only All-American on the team, sees what the coach, and without saying it, he jumps back. Other kids looked at me, and I said, maybe that's why he's an All-American. You know what I'm saying? About the perspective of how you look at things and who you are and what you carry yourself. And it does, paying the respect and things that go on in that regard. And that's why Kenyon's such a great player.
That can be also an inch that you talk about.
Oh, it can also be contagious. And it's finding an inch, knowing what to do, and it's also contagious to your team. You say, wait a minute, the best player on the team, coach just looks back and he moves like that. I think I better pick that. I better get that quality real quick too.
He's Jimbo Fisher, head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. The Aggies will take on New Mexico on Saturday at Kyle Field. 11 o'clock is the kick. 10 o'clock with our with our St. Joseph Health pregame show. We've got more of the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit. When we return to Rudy's, this is Aggie Football from Learfield. Show is brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. Capital Farm Credit, together we're better. We're at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. We continue talking with the head coach of Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo, we talked about Zach taking over for Haynes King. It is Blake Bost who is behind him, correct?
Yes.
Blake had some offers.
Oh, he had a bunch of Division I offers. Yeah, he walked on here and had Division I offers. Really good schools can throw it. I'm going to tell you, he's a very talented young man. This guy, he can run, he can throw it. I mean, he has not good arm talent, he has great arm talent. And he can run. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. And he's had a good week. He had a good camp. That was one of the reasons I was able to, with Eli and doing the things we wanted to do and where he wanted to go in his future, we were able to do that because not only because of Eli's unique talent, but having him right there, I feel very comfortable with him playing as our number 3.
How is Eli as tight end?
Doing well. He's athletic. He can run, can change direction, great ball skills. Super intelligent young man.
Love talking with him.
Oh, he's like talking to a 35-year-old man. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He's unbelievable. High character kid, and going to be a really good. He gets the weight he puts on in there. Yeah. He's going to be a really good player, in my opinion.
High jumper at Denton Ryan.
Well, he was a 7-foot high jumper as a sophomore. He won the state high jump 7 foot.
Yeah. And Blake's brother, if you all follow Aggie baseball, that's Austin Bost's brother. Or Blake is Austin's brother. Austin is Blake's brother. So that's an athletic family.
It is.
There.
I'm really glad. I'm glad we were able to get him. Really am.
And again, he's now getting those reps.
Well, he's getting all the 2 reps and doing well.
Which that's big, isn't it, Jimbo?
Oh, he had an excellent day. 7 on today against our defense and made some good throws. Down the field. I'm talking about 40, 50, 60 yards down the field, making those throws, hitting things. And he's a talented young man. I was at practice earlier this week, and a lot of times Coach Elko says about his defense, good communications, and a lot of times to the young guys, to the Deuce Harmons, to the Tyreek Chappelles, that communication is vital on both sides of the football. In the game of football, you have no idea how sophisticated this game has been. And has become, offensively, defensively, and whether the blitz package is coming this way, or the formations, or the adjustments, or he's behind the guard, he's behind the tackle. The small things that give things away, and you got to be able to communicate to your partner and checks and and whether it's a lot of it's hand signals because you get in those stadiums like you can't hear, and you got to find different ways to communicate. And communication is the key to keep everybody on the same page. Just like it is coaching. Coaching's communication, but once they get to the field, knowing what to do and how to make the calls and making sure if 10 guys got the right call and one guy had to have the right call, then the whole thing can go away, offense or defense. That's what was on offense. 9 or 10 guys would be right, 1 or 2 be off, and you're missed. And that's huge. But those young guys on defense doing a really good job. You talk about noise in a stadium. How about the Aggies in Denver? That's what I said. I think there's more Aggies there in the West Coast. It was unbelievable. I think there were. That was unbelievable. And that's another thing we got to do, too. Our young line kept going away from the quarterback, and he kept going to have to go back and tell him things. That was running our clock down a little bit, too. They got to do a better job in the beginning of getting the original call, kind of not in their stance, but then get to the stance. He was having to do it because you forget, you were some young linemen in that group, too. Mm-hmm. And then he's got to be a little quicker on it. So that communication in that stance, and I'm tell you what, I'm glad there was a lot more Aggies there because it'd been worse if it wasn't. There was a bunch, and I thank them for going. That was awesome support they had and what they did. And I wish we could have played better for you, but we pulled it out. But very supportive of them coming. It was awesome. That was just a terrific atmosphere. That was great. Speaking of young guys, how's Bryce Foster doing at center? Really good. I said, that's another thing. To be a center as a true freshman, I've only had that happen one other time. Really? I've had that one other time. And that guy ended up winning the Remington Award. And I was at, I ain't going to say what school, I was at a rival school. And we won the SEC that year with a freshman center. It was hard to do. Bryce Foster's calves.
are huge. But this is another track guy.
I don't think he's ever heard that before.
No, I don't think
he is. They're huge. They are huge. But he's another track. He's another two-sport guy. He was the #1 shot putter in the country. He was a 71-foot shot putter out of high school, which is phenomenal. I mean, he's got a chance to have a chance to contend in the NCAAs, and he wants to throw in the Olympics one day. He wants to do both.
Here's a kid who came in the summer. You've got a Ruben Fothery who played basketball while he was in high school. You get these guys, these
multi-sport guys. It's great for multiple sport guys, man. And some guys don't, and I get it, but I'm a big fan of multiple sport guys. I think your body grows, your athleticism grows. I think your mind grows. There's different ways to compete in different sports and do different things, and I think it teaches you how to compete at different levels, different speeds, slow, fast. That's why one of the reasons I love baseball. I love baseball guys who are quarterbacks. I hate to say that because failure doesn't bother them, because in 7 out of 10 times you fail and you're great in baseball hitting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But how you think the game, how that teaches. Then you play basketball and how quick that happens. And football, the different sports teach you a lot of different things.
We will talk about the Aggies' next opponent, and that is New Mexico on Saturday. When we return to the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, it's presented by Capital Farm Credit. Come on back. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. Football and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood, and Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. And we are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. It is the home for the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit. On Saturday at 11, the Aggies will take on New Mexico. And I said this in your office this afternoon, kind of understatement. You're going to get tested this Saturday.
Oh, this is a very good team. They're 2-0. They won the last two last year. Defensively, they're giving up 9 yards a game rushing. They're dynamic. What they do defensively, Rocky, the defense coordinator, who's been a legendary head coach, has been around a long time. It's a scheme he does, and it's twists, stunts, blitzes. I mean, they cause you havoc. Packages, picking things up, running, throwing. But, it's very tough, and it's a lot of the packages that Mississippi State guys left. The Kent State guys were derived from that same part of him too, but he's the one who designed it and did it. And really tough. Different packages and what they blitz, stunt, twist. Every play, there's something going on. It's very challenging, mentally and physically. Very good defense. Offensively, the quarterback Wilson he was at Kentucky the first year we here. Remember we played him in overtime my very first year here. Athletic guy, can really run, throw, did everything. Threw for 358 yards, something like that last week. Mm-hmm. He's thrown 7 touchdowns, no picks, 6 or 7 touchdowns, no picks all year. Athletic, can run. Their back's really good. They got a receiver who plays in the slot who averages 42 yards a punt return, 33 yards a kickoff return. And they do tons of motion, return motion, formations all over the place, just a ton of things that give you eye violations, get those guys on the edge. So it's going to be a very disciplined type game for our defense to have to play to keep leverage on the ball and then be gap sound inside, not get gapped out. Make sure we're gapped out in everything we do. Say the returner, 42 yards on punts, 33 yards on kickoffs. He's dynamic. They can kick it. They kick her 10 out of 14, I think, it went out of the end zone. So, they're going to be a really good football team. And they're not coming in here to look at us. They're coming here to play ball, and they listen. We've opened Pandora's box and let people see that we can do some things. We got some things to prove. We got a chip on our shoulder. And we got to get better, and we got to go put our will upon them. And they're going to come in here trying to do the same thing. So it's going to be a heck of a football game.
You have always said the ultimate respect of any team that you play is to give them your best shots.
Yes, you respect people. Anytime you don't give your best, you disrespect the people who love you and put you there, and you disrespect the people who you're playing against, because you got to prepare and get them ready and give them the best, and we want their best, and that's what I know that we're going to get it when they come in. So we're going to have to be ready to play. When
you talk about the looks that you're going to get on defense, will it be similar to Kent State? Did that give
some
you
of it? Is, but it even do more twisting and stunning, elaborate blitzes and things they do, and it's constant 3 down, 4 down. They're based out of a 3-3, but they create 4 down packages and blitzes and corner blitzes, safety blitzes, linebacker blitzes. Multiple coverages. They bring a lot of stuff in for a new, young quarterback, another guy who he's seen it. We prepared young lineman. It's very challenging. And then the multiplicity of things for our receivers and backs.
How important will it be to get a McKinley Jackson back? And you might have a Miles Jones.
Hopefully we can get those guys back into play and keep that rotation and we're going to need them throughout the year. That's for sure.
No, that D line, Jimbo. It's there's 8, and I love watching sometimes just focusing on 8. I know I can't in my job, but he's so much fun fun to watch, inside, outside. He could be so disruptive.
He went inside for most of the second half, almost the whole second half, made a big difference for us, and did it in there and allowed us to play the other ends more, and some things we did, and get some personnel packages along with Peavy and those guys, and they were able to be disruptive the whole second half.
We'll take our final break of the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit. One segment left. Come on back. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. We thank all of you who have joined us along the network or 12th Man mobile app or on Facebook. They have checked in. Another Constantino has checked in. Greg, along with Con and Effie. Con says from locked up Melbourne, Australia. So they want to come so badly, and they can't get out of that country, unfortunately.
Nick's doing well.
Nick is doing just great. Feast or famine for him, right? He didn't punt the one, and he said, he goes, if we win, that's just fine.
Exactly. Yeah, we didn't kick the first week. We made up for it in the second.
And he just flips that field. It's something absolutely special.
It really is.
Good to have him. Jimbo, when you play anybody on that Saturday, it really is about the execution of Texas A&M, is it not?
No, it is. It's always about. That's all you can control. I mean, your opponent's going to affect you, but how you control yourself and what you do and the mindset you're in. It's going to take great. We got to take care of the football, but we got to execute. We got to control the lines of scrimmage. We got to be able to run the football. We got to stop the run, gap things out, not give up the big plays, create big plays. Don't have turnovers, create turnovers, third down conversions. Be good both ways. Stop them and getting them on offense and getting the red zone. You got to score points, score touchdowns, not field goals, and be sound in the kicking game all the way across the board. But we got to control ourselves, and that's what you're responsible for: your mindset, and your temperament, and how you go play, and your execution.
Win your space more often than the other, and the scoreboard takes care of itself. Correct.
You got to win your spaces and do it at the most critical times.
Have they stopped sticking their nose in the honey?
Well, they tried to a little bit last week because they didn't go gap. That's why we were gap sound all the way across the board and didn't get undisciplined and wanting to go make. And it comes from a good place, but it's just you got to be from a disciplined place. There's a difference.
Absolutely. Beat the hell out of New Mexico, and we will see you on Saturday, Coach.
Thank y'all. Great to see everybody, man. Awesome.
Jimbo Fisher, the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit. We will join you on Saturday. It will be 10 o'clock for the St. Joseph Health pregame show. 11 o'clock will be the kick between Texas A&M and New Mexico. And during that pregame show, you will hear Will Johnson will have a conversation with Nick Constantino. We'll hear from Antonio Johnson as well during that pregame. Dave will have his keys, and we'll hear from Jimbo Fisher as we lead up to kickoff for the Aggies and the New Mexico Lobos, two teams who are 2-0 going into Saturday's matchup at Kyle Field. The producer of the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit, is Howie Ambrose. Tony O'Neill as well in our Learfield studios. Kevin Menchow is the engineer here at Rudy's Barbecue. For head coach Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco. We thank you so much for joining us this evening, whether it's been on the 12th Man mobile app, all along the network, on Facebook, however you have joined us. Thank you so much for doing that. We will see you Saturday at 10 for the St. Joseph Health pregame show, and then at 11 o'clock, it'll be the Fighting Texas Aggies and the New Mexico Lobos from Kyle Field. Have yourself a great week, everyone. We'll talk to you Saturday from Kyle Field. This is Aggie Football from Learfield.